Esther lost her beautiful gold pen. She could not find it anywhere. It was so upsetting to her. She saved it for the writing of personal correspondence. It was a gift that Jerry had given her early in their experience. She loved that pen. It was the most beautiful possession that she had, and she could not find it. She looked everywhere for it, turned purses upside down, went through drawers. When they moved, she was sure she would find it. She opened every box and every drawer, looked everywhere for it, and announced to Jerry, "I cannot find my pen. I think it is really gone." And Jerry said, "Oh good, something to buy." And Esther said, "I don't want a new pen. I want that pen. I want that pen. I want my special pen. I want that pen. What have you done with my pen? What have you done with my pen? Where's my pen? I wouldn't lose it. I know I wouldn't lose it. I care too much about it. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Where's my pen? I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. It's lost. It's lost. I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen." We're not kidding you. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. I want my pen. She looked for it for days and days and days. It was on her mind. Every time she opened a drawer or a box, she went through everything. And then Jerry said, "Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go." And Esther said, "I have no choice. It isn't anywhere." And then, months later, she was looking for something else and found her pen in a purse that she had turned upside down over and over and over again. How can that be? You put it in there when I wasn't looking, didn't you? How can that be? How can something that was there, how can something right before my nose, how can something that I actually had in my hand, I ran my hands through that bag, through that lining, turned it upside down. How could my beautiful pen have been there and me not see it? Because when you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., you cannot hear what's being broadcast on 98.7. You cannot find what is lost. You cannot receive apart from dominant vibrational patterns that are within you. We want reality as it stands to be less important to you because it's only the bouncing off place from where you're going. But when you let reality be everything, when you catalog it and pigeonhole it, when you make monuments about it, when you write historical documents about it, when you collect fact-based papers about it, when you continue to beat the drum of what is, even though what is has set up for you something so much more than what is, you reluctantly allow yourself to go to the new and improved version because you're so hung up on declaring the reality of what is. If we were standing in your physical shoes and somebody walked up to us and said, "Hi, how have you been?" we would say, "That is an irrelevant question." And if they said, "Well, just being friendly, how are you?" that too is an irrelevant question. Well, what do you want me to ask? I want you to ask me where I'm going. I want you to ask me about my vibrational reality. Now, they would lock you up and put a straitjacket on you pretty soon. But we want that to be your attitude. How you've been doesn't matter. "Hi, how have you been?" Ooh, really engulfed in the magnificent contrast of my leading edge time-space reality. What in the world does that mean? It means that by knowing what I don't want, and boy is there ever a lot of that, by knowing what I don't want, I have launched endless rockets about what I do want, and I have queued up a dramatic and dynamic and delicious future for myself. And they would say, "I did not understand a thing that you said, but we want you to know what you mean by that." In other words, how have you been? I've been sifting through contrast and I've queued up a fabulous future experience. Well, what are you doing about that? Giving my undivided attention to my fabulous future experience. You mean you don't face reality? I face reality as little as possible. I look at the reality that pleases me most. I look at the reality that suits me best. Say to your friends, "Truly, friend, I just mine reality for reasons to feel good. I don't face it anymore." Facing reality is like taking the good and the bad and the awful and the ugly, the wanted and the unwanted, and I don't face reality anymore. I just use it for thoughts of improvement. And if you will say that and mean that, if you will become a selective sifter, when you think about your past, if you'll selectively sift for the best feeling pieces of it, and when you look at your now reality, if you'll selectively sift for the best feeling pieces of it, as you look into your future, if you will selectively sift for the best feeling pieces of it, what you will begin to discover is you have a future that is already set up, and it is magnificent. And as you start tuning yourself more to the things that are already queued up for you in your vibrational escrow, you will be moving quickly to it, and life will be really fun along the way. It's really interesting to watch you. Sometimes you'll have an experience with someone. Often it's someone you live with, someone that you really did like a lot at one time. And you're having this sort of tumultuous experience with them. Maybe it's an employee-employer relationship. Maybe they have been and are your lover. Maybe it is a parent, child, or friend. But there's somebody who's just for quite a while just been bothering you a lot. You think about this person a lot because you're tied together. All kinds of things go on. And this person is a thorn in your side, you say. Just a constant burr under your saddle, a rock in your shoe. This person just drives you crazy. You wish they'd just fall in a hole, and that would be that. But they stay stuck to you like glue. You don't know why, and they're just irritating you beyond. So you're having this relationship with them, and most of you not realizing that every time it tugs and feels uncomfortable, that you are requesting an improvement. In fact, you are putting, without even knowing it, your version of them and you and your relationship in your vibrational escrow. When they don't understand you, you put a version of them in your vibrational escrow that does. When they are not kind to you, you put a kinder version of them in your vibrational escrow. When they don't watch what they're doing, you put a version of them in vibrational escrow that knows what they're doing. In other words, the more bumbling they are, the more magnificently you create them in your escrow. You can't help it. You create a version of everything that you are living in your vibrational escrow. All day, every day it happens. So, as you've been adding to your vibrational escrow, Source has been taking it in, becoming it, taking it in, becoming it. And Law of Attraction's been responding to that, and all circumstances and events have been amassing, coalescing for the creation of this new and better relationship. We're not kidding you. So if you could do as we were just encouraging you to do, if you could give your undivided attention to where you're going, if you could start playing the isn't it nice game, or the won't it be nice game, or isn't this a lovely thing, or look at these positive aspects, if you could start training yourself to be more of a match to what you're putting into your vibrational escrow, you'd feel wonderful and your relationship would be morphing into that. But most of you don't do that. Instead, you create this because of your experience with that, but then you give most of your attention to that. So here's the best way of saying this. This person harassed you into expansion, and now this same person is the reason you're not taking your expansion. No wonder you're so mad at them. If they hadn't harassed you to grow, so you want to say to them, look, you made me grow. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to expand. I didn't want to become more. You harassed me into expansion, and now your ineffectiveness keeps me from taking my expansion. And that's why I'm extra mad at you. Doesn't that define a lot of relationships you have? If it weren't for the contrast, you wouldn't have expanded, and if it weren't for the expansion, you wouldn't feel bad in not taking the expansion. And then, the amazing things you concoct to try to explain it, when there's really only one thing that explains it. You grew and you didn't go. Your inner being went that way and you stayed over here. And the funny thing about it, it's funny to us, not to you. The really interesting thing about it is, the more you don't go, the more you ask. And the more you ask, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more you don't go. And the more you don't go, the more you ask. And the more you ask, the bigger the contrast feels. And the bigger the contrast feels, then the more you rebel, the more you blame, the more you criticize. You might as well give it up, because you can't stop expanding. You might as well just let go. Let go of the struggle. Let go of control. Let go of trying to get others to be better so that you can feel better. Let go of all of those reasons that you don't feel good. Let go of all of the conversation about, if you had done this differently, then I would feel better right now. Well, of course, if everyone held you as their only object of attention and their only goal was that you live happily ever after, we imagine your nest would be pretty feathered. But it's not going to happen, so give it up. All of you were born to feather your own nest. All of you were born to create a magnificent nest of creation and to move yourself into vibrational alignment with it. And we see you. If you think someone else is dabbling in your reality, you want them out. You don't want anybody creating in your reality. You think you do. When things aren't going well, you say, come in and help me. But then if they take control and want to tell you everything. It's like Jerry and Esther when Esther is driving. When Esther is lost, she really appreciates Jerry's guidance. But when she knows where she's going, his guidance is annoying. And he walks quite a thin line because he never knows what she knows. I could put my 2 cents worth in and be blessed, or I could put my 2 cents worth in and be cursed. It could go either way. And we want you to realize that you are the creator of your reality, and everyone else is too. And when you don't answer questions that haven't been asked, and you do your best, do you resonate with what we just said? That the people who give you the most grief are your greatest co-creators. And there will be a time when you've let go of the struggle and have allowed yourself to be who they helped you become, that you can look back and say, that really was good for me. And I do appreciate that contrasting experience. And what we want to submit to you is, why not look back now in the midst of the contrast and try to feel that way a little more? So you could begin saying things such as, you're driving me crazy, but I know there's a pony in here somewhere. You're driving me crazy, and I know good will come from it. I can't imagine when I will see it, but I'm pretty sure something good will come from this. And anyway, thanks for the harassment. Or you could say, I suppose that you wouldn't be here bugging me if I were not vibrationally a match to you. So apparently we deserve each other. I can't imagine why. I'm so much better than you are. But at any rate, here we are banging it out together. And clarity is coming from me about what I want. And so I'm going to do my best to talk about what I want and why I want it. And anyway, thanks for the trouble. Now you understand about law of attraction, don't you? You know that law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So if you're feeling something and you're having a relationship with anyone, whether it's a hotel, whether it's an airline, whether it's somebody that you used to like, whether it's someone that is in your experience every day, when you're having an experience with anyone, the experience that you're having is in your vibration. No one is doing anything to you. Your government can't do it to you. Your economy can't do it to you. Your spouse, your children, your parents, nobody is doing anything to you. You're doing it all to you because you're offering the vibration and you can change it. So we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important. We see our best advantage to you to help you to understand where you are in relationship to what's in your vibrational escrow. We'll help you to define what's over there, and we'll give you every game we've got to coax you in the direction of it. But ultimately, we want you to leave this gathering with a newly found feeling of self-empowerment. The feeling that I not only can be the creator of my own reality, I not only am the creator of my own reality, but I want to be the creator of my own reality. We want you to leave this gathering with a newfound desire that goes something like this. I know I've already done step 1, and I'm appreciative of everyone who helped me do it. And I know Source has taken care of step 2, and I know things are queued up for me. And my undivided attention is now focused upon how can I get in the vortex, in the vortex, in the vortex. If we could convince you, and we can't do it with words, but a little bit of life experience will show you this. If we could convince you that everything that you want is already queued up and ready to pop for you manifestationally, it's already in the vortex, and it's already vivid enough that it can reveal itself to you immediately. If we can convince you of that, wouldn't you make a greater effort to get in there where it is? That's the picture that we want you to have. We want you to understand it's not nebulous, it's not years away, it's not all kinds of things that have to come to place. It has already vibrationally actualized. All you got to do is get in the vortex. And some of you say, but it's been a long time that I've wanted it. And we say, but it wasn't a long time that it took for it to assimilate. It is that you keep holding yourself in a holding pattern, in a sort of indefinite holding pattern outside the vortex. Now you know too much. Now you know about law of attraction.